Hi, welcome back to my views and news. Another video, three new stories. First one is about Ethiopian dollar to birr exchange rate. We know that Ethiopian birr is losing its value against dollar, uh, and the gap between official exchange rate and black market birr dollar exchange rate is very wide, almost twofold. Now, government has decided to narrow down this gap, it seems. But can it resolve government's problems? Can it solve government's economic challenges? Secondly, Gurjam, where a regional president and a general were seen together. And thirdly, Ethiopia has at last written a letter to Djibouti. I told you almost a week ago, did a video about new instructions passed by Djibouti's government, which are hurting small Ethiopian businessmen. And small Ethiopian importers are unable to import goods through Djibouti due to new restrictions. That is why Ethiopia has written a letter to Djibouti reportedly. Firstly, viewers, uh, first story is about the birr dollar exchange rate. Ethiopian birr has been losing its value, and in open market, one birr to dollar exchange rate, $1 to birr exchange rate is around 55 birrs. For $1, 55 birrs can be exchanged. But in black market, this rate is around twofold, 110, even more than that. And this losing value of birr is a challenge for Ethiopian government. While foreign exchange reserves are dwindling rapidly, birr is losing value, inflation on the rise. All these factors are leading to serious economic challenges for Ethiopian government. And so far, no bailout package. Though Ethiopia signed some agreements with Paris Club members and other creditors to suspend Ethiopian loan repayments for 2023-2024, still challenges are there. IMF Ethiopia staff level agreement, it could happen, but it has not happened so far, reportedly. So now Ethiopia has decided to decrease the value of birr. According to Ethiopian State Bank chief, by 95% Ethiopia could devalue the birr. It's a very big decision, by the way. You'll see its consequences. Because if once a currency devalues, if it is devalued, it's difficult for this currency to regain its earlier position. So Ethiopian government has been trying to prevent this decision by getting some sort of support from outsiders. It has been in talks with creditors, with its friends and allies, but it could not get bailout package. Could not get a few billion US dollars. That is why government now wants to devalue the birr. Can this devaluing of birr put an end to economic challenges? Because of the gap between official exchange rate and black market rate, some companies are withdrawing from Ethiopia, like Ethiolese. Ethiolese withdrew because Ethiolese was buying equipment for Ethiopian businessmen in dollars and giving it to businessmen in birrs. That gap was a problem for Ethiolese. Other companies are suffering as well. So while the government has taken a big step, though details not shared, when will the birr be devalued? How long will it take? Details shared. But those people who are in possession of millions of birrs, obviously it's not a good news for them. because the currency is going to be devalued. That is what's going to happen reportedly. Secondly, viewers, Amhara regional president has been seen in the company of an ENDF general. By the way, wherever uh, Amhara regional president goes in the Amhara region, he's accompanied by ENDF generals. It just shows the overall security situation in the Amhara region. It's not safe for Erga Kabede to travel alone. And most of the time, Erga Kabede and generals, they visit parts of Amhara by air. They don't travel along main roads. They use helicopters. They visit areas. They're photographed are published, and then they just take off from the area. Don't use roads. I am sure about that because I talked to a few people last month and they confirmed to me that most of the visits by Erga Kabede and top ENDF generals are conducted by air. In Dega Demote, the two held a meeting with locals. Dega Demote was the scene of intense clashes between Fano and military a few weeks ago. There were some drone strikes to Indica Demote. Now situation under control. Military in control, they're Indica Demote. That is why Arga Kabede and Muhammad Sima visited Indica Demote yesterday. Muhammad Sima is the one, East Command chief, who last week acknowledged the complication, the complexities involved in the operation against Fano fighters. And he instructed his subordinates to be creative. The subordinates should not engage Fano fighters directly, and they should learn from past counterinsurgency operations. One of the most difficult fronts in this conflict in the Amhara region for ENDF is Gujum. And Tasima is the head of this zone. That is why he and Kabbe, they are visiting different areas, being photographed and telling the people of Ethiopia that everything is returning to normalcy in the Amhara region. So situation still not under control of the government in the region. Thirdly, viewers, at last Ethiopia has written a letter to Djibouti's government. Djibouti not happy with Ethiopian state media's campaign that and the state media or Ethiopian state media accused Djibouti authorities that Djibouti has been minting money from Ethiopian use of Djibouti's ports. And once, I think last month, Djibouti's minister officially responded to reports from Ethiopian state media. He tried to prove that Djibouti's businessmen are paying more for importing goods than Ethiopian businessmen. And more than 2 weeks ago, Djibouti's government imposed some new restrictions on Ethiopian importers. Importers who are importing goods valuing 20, 30,000 US dollars. New restrictions have been imposed, and these businessmen are not being allowed to import goods worth less than 30,000 US dollars reportedly. So that decision is creating serious problems for Ethiopian businessmen, small businessmen. So Ethiopia has written a letter to Djibouti's government. It has been confirmed by Ethiopian custom authorities chief Zerehun Assefa. Zerehun Assefa yesterday confirmed that this decision was taken by Djibouti 3 weeks ago. And it's a problem for Ethiopian businessmen. That is why Ethiopia has written a letter to Djibouti to review its decision regarding putting a limit on the value of goods which can be imported by the traders, the businessmen in Ethiopia. Djibouti not happy because Ethiopian PM Abiy more than a month ago opened a Pandora's box when he tried to prove that Ethiopia had natural rights to an access to the sea. Since then, we've been seeing tensions between Ethiopia and Eritrea, Ethiopia and Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti to some extent too. Ethiopia using Djibouti's port for more than 90% of its imports, exports. Ethiopia wants to diversify its use of ports. Obviously, if Ethiopia shifts to other ports, Djibouti would be deprived of a big source of income. So maybe Djibouti is flexing economic muscles too. That if Djibouti has given access to Ethiopia, it does not mean that it should be taken for granted. Ethiopia should not force Djibouti to make big decisions. Let's see, will Djibouti listen to Ethiopia? Will it review the decision of imposition of new restrictions that we'll see in coming months? Thank you for watching.